This is the Emotional Vocabulary series by Duenas. Today we will address toxic relationships, the emotional trap that drains and controls. Have you ever felt the weight of a relationship so heavy it left you questioning your own worth, your reality, or even your sense of self? The term toxic relationship often conjures images of arguments or occasional clashes, but in truth, these relationships are far more insidious. They are emotional traps that subtly and sometimes painfully chip away at who we are. Whether it's through gaslighting, manipulation, or unhealthy dependency, toxic relationships are like invisible chains, draining not only our energy but our spirit. So, how do you spot the red flags before it's too late? And once you're in the trap, how do you break free? Introduction. A toxic relationship is one in which one or both partners consistently engage in harmful behaviors that damage emotional, mental, financial, or physical well-being. Unlike normal relationship challenges, toxic relationships are persistent, unhealthy, and emotionally draining. Understanding toxic relationships is crucial because they can subtly trap individuals in cycles of emotional pain, manipulation, and self-doubt. Recognizing and naming this pattern in one's emotional vocabulary empowers individuals to set boundaries, heal, and build healthier connections. Definitions. Layman's definition. A toxic relationship is a relationship that is emotionally, mentally, or physically damaging, making one or both partners feel drained, controlled, or unworthy. Clinical definition. A toxic relationship is a pattern of dysfunctional interaction characterized by manipulation, power imbalances, emotional neglect, or abuse, leading to psychological distress. Common types of toxic relationships. Controlling relationships. One partner dominates the other's decisions, actions, or beliefs. Manipulative relationships. One partner distorts reality to control or confuse the other. This is called gaslighting. Codependent relationships. One or both partners rely excessively on each other for self-worth. Emotionally abusive relationships. One partner devalues, insults, or emotionally starves the other. Physically abusive relationships. One partner uses violence or threats to maintain control. Perception and expression. Frequent feelings of guilt, fear, or obligation. Constant self-doubt and lowered self-esteem. Walking on eggshells, fearing emotional outbursts. Isolation from friends, family, or support systems. Origins. Psychological and evolutionary background. Toxic relationship patterns often stem from unresolved childhood trauma, abandonment, neglect, or abuse. Learned behaviors from dysfunctional family dynamics. Fear of being alone or unworthy of love. Biological mechanisms. Cortisol overload. Chronic stress from toxic relationships weakens mental and physical health. Dopamine and trauma bonding. Manipulative partners alternate between kindness and cruelty, creating addictive highs and lows. Oxytocin and attachment issues. Fear of abandonment strengthens unhealthy emotional dependence. Effects of toxic relationships. Effects on psyche. Low self-esteem, anxiety, and depression. Inability to trust one's own emotions or decisions. Increased risk of PTSD and emotional dysregulation. Effects on daily life. Constant emotional exhaustion and lack of motivation. Struggling with self-care due to stress and manipulation. Feeling stuck and unable to leave despite unhappiness. Effects on family and friends. Isolation from loved ones who see the toxicity. Fear of speaking out due to shame or denial. Repeated cycles of breaking up and going back. Effects in the workplace. Decreased productivity due to emotional exhaustion. Difficulty focusing, making decisions, or maintaining confidence. Increased absenteeism or job instability. Effects on freedom. Toxic relationships erode personal freedom by making individuals dependent, afraid, and disconnected from their own needs and desires. Examples. Personal experience. A woman constantly apologizes for things she didn't do because her partner makes her feel guilty for everything. Societal behavior. Social media glorifying toxic, passionate relationships that normalize control and manipulation. Historical event. The cycle of domestic abuse seen in high-profile cases where victims feel trapped due to emotional or financial dependency. Challenges and mental health. Survivors of toxic relationships may struggle with trust, fear, and emotional trauma long after leaving. Gaslighting, psychological manipulation, can lead to self-doubt and confusion. Emotional wounds from toxicity often require therapy and self-rebuilding. Here are 10 signs of being in a toxic relationship with examples for each sign. 1. Constant criticism. Your partner frequently insults your appearance, intelligence, or abilities. They make jokes that put you down, then dismiss your hurt feelings as overreacting. 2. Lack of respect for boundaries. They read your private messages or emails without permission. They pressure you into doing things you're uncomfortable with, like social events or intimacy. 3. Manipulation and gaslighting. They deny, saying we're doing things that hurt you, making you question your memory. They twist arguments so you end up apologizing, even when they were in the wrong. 4. Excessive jealousy and possessiveness. They get angry when you spend time with friends or family. They accuse you of cheating or flirting without any reason. 5. Lack of support. They downplay your achievements instead of celebrating them. They dismiss your problems as unimportant or act annoyed when you seek comfort. 6. Emotional or physical abuse. They yell, insult, or humiliate you in private or public. They shove, grab, or hit you, even if they later apologize. 7. Controlling behavior. They dictate who you can see, what you can wear, or how you spend money. They make all major decisions without considering your opinion. 8. Walking on eggshells. You constantly worry about how they'll react and avoid bringing up certain topics. Their mood shifts unpredictably, making you feel anxious or unsafe. 9. Lack of effort and one-sidedness. You're always the one making plans, apologizing, or fixing issues. They expect you to prioritize them but never do the same for you. 10. Feeling drained and unhappy. You feel more stressed than happy when you're with them. You've lost confidence and feel emotionally exhausted instead of supported. If any of these sound familiar, it may be helpful to reflect on the relationship and seek support. Management and mitigation. How to leave a toxic relationship. Acknowledge the reality, recognize that the relationship is toxic. Rebuild self-worth. You are worthy of love and respect. Seek support. Reach out to trusted friends, family, or therapists. Set boundaries. Minimize or cut contact with toxic individuals. Practice self-healing. Engage in therapy, journaling, or mindfulness. Therapeutic approaches. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, helps survivors reframe toxic thought patterns. Trauma therapy, EMDR, somatic therapy, heals deep-seated wounds. Group therapy and support networks provide strength through shared experiences. Conclusion. A toxic relationship is a slow emotional erosion that can trap individuals in cycles of manipulation, fear, and self-doubt. The first step to healing is recognizing the toxicity, then, by reclaiming self-worth, setting boundaries, and seeking support, individuals can break free and build healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Real love should uplift, not drain. The power to walk away from toxicity is the first step toward emotional freedom and true self-respect. Furthermore, a toxic relationship doesn't just affect the present moment, it seeps into every corner of life, quietly eroding self-esteem, mental clarity, and emotional well-being. Recognizing the signs and acknowledging the harm is the first vital step toward reclaiming your life. By rebuilding self-worth, setting firm boundaries, and seeking help, healing is possible. The truth is, love should never feel like a burden, it should lift you up. Breaking free from toxic dynamics requires courage and strength, but with the right support and mindset, it is the first step toward a life of freedom, respect, and genuine connection. It's time to let go of the emotional chains and embrace relationships that nurture, not drain, your spirit. This was the topic of Toxic Relationship from the Emotional Vocabulary series by Duenas.